What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know who I of course am the FPL train. Now today's video I'm doing a free hit draft ahead of game week 29. Now I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty confident as well I'm going to be free hitting in game week 29. So a lot of these players more than likely are going to be in my team come game week 29 deadline. But we'll see in my next video what I'm going to do about my free hit, because I'm very certain now I'm going to be free hitting just because of the fact that I think I've got 3 players playing in game week 29, so I'm going to have to activate the free hit chip. I could go for the wild card chip, but because of the FA Cup games coming up after game week 29, I'd rather wait to find out who's got into the semi-final, so I've got a good idea on who's blanking and who's double game week and when that's going to happen. So that's my reasoning to activate the free hit chip ahead of game week 29 instead of the wildcard chip, and that's what I recommend to anybody else if they are looking at that. Obviously, you could go, yeah, but I can get the free hit chip and have a low double game week, because that's true, but each to their own. That's just what I'm thinking about doing anyway. I'm going to look at activating the free hit chip for game week 29. So let's go through this team then. So starting us off then are the goalkeepers. So I've gone for, as a starting goalkeeper, I'll go for Sales of Nottingham Forest. They have Ipswich away from home, not at home, away. It's a bit trickier, but the fact is, Ipswich are not all that. I mean, people have been kissing their arse pretty much all season. They're probably going to stay up. They're the best probably chance of staying up. We've now played 28 games this season, and Ipswich are still sat 18th. I can't remember the last time they were even out of the bottom 3. They've only scored 26 goals. It's the 3rd worst. Only 1 ahead of Leicester. So I say Ipswich and Leicester are pretty much on par this season, about how bad they've been. So I do think, Forest, I mean, amazing against City. They've now got Ipswich away. Good chance there to continue to where they're going and stay in that top 4. It's a big game for both sides, but I'd definitely have Sales as my goalkeeper. Or you go for the backup option, which I have gone for as Sarr, the Wolves goalkeeper. You could say it's a bit more of a gamble, because he is also away from home. But he's got Southampton. Southampton are by far the worst team in the league by an absolute mile, so there's a good chance there Wolves could get a clean sheet there as well. They've only scored 20 goals all season, so they could keep a clean sheet there, Wolves. The reason why I've gone for Sales ahead of Sarr is just because Forest are sat there up in 3rd, whereas Wolves are down there in 17th. So that is why I've gone for Sales ahead of Sarr, but you could go for either or. There are other players that you could possibly have gone for, but those are my 2 favourite ones to go for, even though they're both away from home. Then you've also got the back 3, well, back 5 should we say. So the 2 that I've got on the bench are Nori, so another Wolves defender. He was actually, if I was doing this, probably would have originally started for me because he's got Southampton away. But I've decided to change things around. I've gone for Spence and put him in the starting 3, just because, I mean, I'm not speaking about Spence all season. He's been amazing since he's finally got into this team. He's definitely the favourite fullback ahead of Paro and Udogie. So, and he's only like 4.4 million, I believe. So he's an absolute bargain. He is playing at home against Crystal Palace as well. So for me, that's why I've got Spencer in, because I'm not really expecting about him too much. And to be fair, he could do really well. He could get an assist against Crystal Palace. He's looked really dangerous, I think. So that's why I've got him in the starting lineup and ahead of Nori, who, to be fair, has had an impressive season considering how crap basically Wolves have been. And then the last player was on the bench for defensive options was Harewood Bellis of Southampton. Would not touch him, because Southampton don't keep clean sheets. I just had 4 million, I think it was left, something like that. And he's this guy that starts week in, week out, so that's why he's on the bench. So the other 2 are starting alongside Spencer, of course, Guardiola and Einar. So I spoke about, Nottingham Forest of Einar, how they've got Ipswich away. Einar's been absolutely fantastic this season. He's been phenomenal. Nobody saw this coming. I mean, nobody saw this with Forest in general, to be fair. But yeah, he has been absolutely incredible there for Nottingham Forest. What's his stats this season? He's absolutely insane. I'll just have a quick look, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh wow, he's only got 2 goals and 1 assist. Why do I think he had more assists this season? But the main thing is, he's kept 11 clean sheets this season. That is absolutely unreal. So it's, you got to take your hat off to him. And then the last player, obviously, like I just said, is Guardiola. I mean, I feel like you should have a Man City defender, or just because Brighton are a hot and cold team, in all fairness. And if you're going to go for a Man City defender, I feel like there's only one option these days, and that is Guardiola. Ruben Diaz, I mean, we can't keep clean sheets, Man City, so they've been disappointed. And then who else would you go for? Because Ake, Akanji, Stones all out injured. So then you got the new guy. I don't think he's gonna. I wouldn't put him in my team at all. To be fair, in fact, he's 5 million as well. I would put him down 4.5. He's terrible. And then Rico Lewis, you can't guarantee he's even going to start. So for me, stand out Guardiola. That's why I'd have him. So you'd have Spence, Guardiola, or Aina as your back three. You could easily replace either Spence or Aina, I'd say, with Aït-Nouri, or even Guardiola if you really want to do that, because you might be that confident that Wolves get a clean sheet. But yeah, to be fair, I think that's a decent defence with the goalkeeper. So that is when I look at doing my team. I definitely have three of those that are starting now in my team. So more than likely, I'd have Sales, Guardiola, and Aina come my three-hit team. But I do think Spence. Not a lot of people are still looking, or even looking at him yet. So I definitely think he's worth a shout out as a differential. So that's why I've got him in this team. So yeah, decent back line, I'd say that is. With the midfielders now, so this team's got a five-man midfield. Now, I could easily do a few changes to this five-man midfield. For starters, I could change it to a four-man midfield and have three strikers up top. So I got the third striker I got on could easily start in this team. But at the minute, this is a five-man midfield. The two that you could possibly change are literally the two on the right side in Mbeumo and Cole Palmer. Now, Cole Palmer is in diabolical form right now. For Cole Palmer standards anyway. So obviously, you don't know that he missed the penalty against Leicester the other day. So that's not going to help him at all. And the fact is, he's not scored a goal now for quite a long time. So he got an assist in game week 24. That's the last time he's got a return. And last time he actually scored a goal was against Bournemouth way back in game week 21. Now we're approaching game week 29, going into game week 30 after that. So that's a long time where he's not scored a goal. Probably the longest in his Chelsea career, I'd probably say. So he is obviously, and he's high value. So you could do a lot of that money elsewhere. For example, you could get in. I mean, he's not even anywhere near his price, but Gibbs White, for example, get somebody like that in for this game week instead. Or you could get an Arsenal midfielder if you think Arsenal are going to win, because Arsenal are the home team. The problem is with that is, what attacker do you go for? Do you go for Martinelli, because he didn't start the other day? Do you go for Trossard, who comes off early? Or do you go for Martin Odegaard, who's, yes, he's back fifth, playing week in, week out, but I'd have to say I've been really disappointed with Martin Odegaard as a whole all season, because he's not really chipping in like he was the last couple of seasons. When you look at his stats, he started 19 of the 29 games, so, well, 28 games technically, because he's not played 29 yet, and he's only got 5 returns, 2 goals, 3 assists. That's pretty poor in all fairness. So then where else are you looking? Sterling's not going to start, Saka's not available, Declan Rice, but I can't imagine people going for that in 1 year. But can you guarantee he's even going to start? He played 57 minutes last time against Man United because Martinelli's back, so there's another problem. So there's not a lot of options really for Arsenal either. You could argue go for different Chelsea options and like some Nete possibly. I know some people have looked at Fernandes. For me, I just stick with Cole Palmer. That's what I've gone for there. And then you got Mbeumo alongside him. I said you could take him out. Bournemouth for a difficult game, but Brentford do score goals, so it might be worth having Mbeumo in your team. If those drop any of those, it would be one of those two for the striker. Which one though? I mean, honestly, it's a tough one because both of them are playing away from home, and both of them are playing against exceptional teams. In all fairness, I mean, or you could also take one of them out and put Semenyo in if he's going to be available for the game against Brentford. But again, Brentford at home is a tough fixture. But anyway, Mbeumo's been class all season, so that's why I put him in this team. Patrick Kluivert and Justin Kluivert, unreal this season, got another assist against Spurs. Unlucky not to get that goal as well. Obviously, it was quite far offside, but it was beautiful play by Bournemouth. But unfortunately, he only got the assist, but he's been on fire this season. So, I mean, if you're doing a three-hit team, you can't avoid him. In all honesty, because this guy is in hot form. You've also got Elanga. Now, I've got Elanga in here just because, like I said before, lack of funds really. So what you could do is take Palmer out, and replace Elanga with Gibbs White, because that's what originally I wanted in the first place, and then put a different option instead of Cole Palmer. The player who would I have instead? I'm not quite sure at this moment in time. I mean, I just had something in my head, but it's left off. Phil Foden. That was who I was thinking about for a second. But the problem is, you just can't, trust Man City at the minute. And Phil Foden, in all honesty, has been poor this season. But anyway, Alanga's still been quality this season. He plays all week in, week out. He's got Ipswich away, so yeah, it's definitely worth having him in your team. And then Bruno Fernandes, Leicester City away. I mean, you could argue I've got to this point where I revealed all my defenders and my midfielders. I've only got one Man United player, but who would your second option be? Definitely not a niner. He is a crap goalkeeper. Definitely not any of the back line, because they don't keep any clean sheets. So when you're looking at what other midfielder would have alongside Fernandes, you could argue getting Garnacho in. So if you are to take Mbumu or Cole Palmer out, Garnacho would be probably a great option in all fairness. Which one you take out for him, God knows. Good luck with that if you were. But yeah, got Bruno Fernandes in there for obvious reasons. But yeah, Garnacho is definitely worth shout out in terms of having him in your team as well. So yeah, he's got Leicester away. I mean, how many times have they played Leicester now? I think this will be the fourth time. They played them in both cup games, beat them there. Play them in the league, beat them there, and now they're playing them again in the league again. I'm assuming they're going to beat them yet again. I mean, I'll probably now jinx it, but you got to say Man United are definitely the favourites for that fixture. And so then that does leave me with my front two, and that would be Chris Woods and Erling Haaland. I mean, I think most people, if not everybody who's free hitting, are going to have those two as their two strikers. The third option as well is Evan Nielsen of Bournemouth, who most people will probably have starting in this game, and I can completely understand why. He's back from injury now. He's playing a lot more minutes. He's been absolutely unreal, and he's only 5.6 million, so he's actually a bargain still. He was, quality against Spurs, got that goal, scored 6 goals this season, got 4 assists in 18 starts. That's 10 returns in 18 games. That's pretty impressive in all fairness to him. Brentford at home to a fixture, which is why I've kind of left him on the bench. Barely anybody's owning him. He's 1.7% owned currently right now. And he's definitely worth a shot at. Like I said, if you get rid of, like say, a Palmer or an Mbumu, you get something not too fussed about, you can start Evan Nielsen. So that is one option. But yeah, the two are obviously going to be starting. The two everybody's going to be looking at starting. So you've got Erling Haaland. Brighton at home is actually a tough fixture in all fairness to them. But, the guy scored 20 goals this season. You got to go for him. Izek's not available. Watkins isn't available. Darwin's not available. Gakpo's not available. Havertz isn't available. Mateta might be available when he's fit, but he's not available to play because game week 29 they're blanking. So, and obviously Cunha's suspended. So you got no choice really. You got Haaland there. He's playing at home, and then Chris Woods who's playing away to Ipswich Town. Will Chris Woods score in that game? I'm not so sure. He has blanked in the last 2 games now, although he did play Arsenal and Man City in the last 2 game weeks, in all fairness to him. But he also blanked against Newcastle, so he's gone 3 games in the league now without a goal. Something to think about maybe, if you're feeling maybe he's past it now. I mean, I don't think he is. This guy scored 18 goals this season. He's been phenomenal. It's a no-brainer, really. I mean, you could argue go for Evan Nielsen maybe ahead of him. The fact is he scored 18 goals this season. How can you drop that, in all fairness? So, that is the free hit draft that I've drafted up ahead of Game Week 29. I am going to be activating the free hit chip, and I will reveal my team in a couple of days' time. Now, looking at this team and looking at who I have in my team come Game Week 29, I reckon 90% of this team will be in my team come Game Week 29. Obviously, you got the likes of, I've mentioned the players that I'm not quite sure of. So the likes of maybe Elanga and Mbumu, Palmer, possibly, maybe even Spence or something like that could be changed around. I might gamble and not have a Woods. I mean, I probably won't, in all fairness. But yeah, there's options I could change around. This is what I think is a quality team ahead of Game Week 29. Let me know what you think of this team. Let me know what you guys are doing ahead of Game Week 29. Are you free hitting? Are you not activating a chip? Do you have the players for this game week, or are you wildcarding ahead of Game Week 29? Let me know what you think of this team. And also, before you go as well, do not forget to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you all on my next one.